Mastering Law of Attraction through Lucid Dreaming.
Hi, I'm Brandon Shaw, co-CEO of Down to Earth Productions and Comedy, and this is Step 5 to how to master Law of Attraction through Lucid Dreaming. And Step 5 is going to master 3 things with Step 5. These are very, very important. We want to master number 1, discipline. Number 2, patience. And number 3, sacrifice. Now, if you've been watching the previous steps, step 1 was moral inventory. That's writing a list of your negatives and your positives. You always work on eliminating your negatives as much as you can. And every 2 weeks, you do the moral inventory again. Step 2, I talked about controlling your emotions, which is energy and motion. You have to control where your energy is going at. That's very important too. Step 3, we stop using obligation communication. And remember, instead of saying I gotta or I have to or I can't, I choose, I choose, I choose. Step 4 was getting rid of the things you were conditioned to believe, because you have to question these ideologies, these concepts, and these beliefs that didn't come from your brain, but they came from the brain of a human being. You want to create your own ideologies so you can understand the world that you're living in better. And when we come to step 5, on master discipline, patience, and sacrifice. These 3 things right here will get you anything that you want in life if you mastered it. We see it in karate movies, in Asia, China, Europe, all across the globe. The wisest people master these 3 concepts right here. Number 1 is the most important, because without discipline, it's kind of hard to be patient and it's hard to make sacrifices. And I'm going to make some references to the Bible, the great fictional stories that are in the Bible. Now, for those who have read the entire Bible, if you notice God, all the people that God pretty much was in tune with, like Noah, David, Abraham, Joseph, even Jesus Christ, list goes on. If you notice, all of them mastered these 3 concepts right here: discipline, patience, and sacrifice. Now let's go talk about discipline. You have to be able to control yourself. You are your worst enemy. Going back to step 1, because you wrote your negatives down. These are things you can also be sacrificing. You want to give up things, but I'm going to get back to that though. But back to discipline. You got your moral inventory, you got your negatives and your positives. And you're reading these out loud, you read your negatives. You have to be able to control yourself to get rid of these old habits. So being disciplined is very important. Like the movie Karate Kid with Will Smith's son. Remember what Jackie Chan was telling him? Take the coat off, put the coat on the ground, pick the coat up, put the coat on, take the coat off, put it on the ground. Now when he first got there, Will Smith's son first got there, he thought it was like, well, you're going to teach me karate like this, this, and this, and all that. But before anybody can be taught first, they have to learn how to actively listen. We have to see if you can listen. Because when a person doesn't actively listen, and active listening means doing what you hear. Because anybody can say, you can hear anything. A person can say, Brandon, make your bed up. Okay, I heard you. But that bed ain't made up. Then someone come to me and say, Brandon, I told you to make your bed up. How come you make it up? Well, I listened to you when you told me, I was doing. That's not listening. You just heard it. Actively listening. Because when you don't actively listen, guess what? You don't learn. And when you don't learn, you know what you do? You make mistakes. And then you keep repeating those mistakes. And then you never learn to stop repeating those mistakes. So you need to be disciplined in order to control yourself. And we go to step 2, being patient. How many people we know that's impatient? They don't like to wait for anything. And this type of generation that we living in, the instant gratification, it's all about being impatient. Everybody wants to gimme, rush. Like the rabbit and the turtle in that race. That's why the rabbit lost that race. He wasn't patient. He kept stopping. Great things happen to those who wait. We are here because of patience. As soon as the egg hit the sperm, it forms a what? An embryo. The embryo grows. It grows with brain, eyes, arms, ears, legs. And as you know, it's kicking the mother's stomach. 9 months. And then all of a sudden, the baby coming into the world. Because of patience. You have to let things manifest slowly in this physical reality. And it takes time. The greatest things that were ever invented, it took time. It took you time to learn how to read. It took you time how to write. It took you time how to drive a car. It's going to take some time. If you speed up a process, what happens? You never learn. We wouldn't be here if the process was sped up during pregnancy. It's a miscarriage. You got stillbirths. Or the baby might come out deformed. I mean, all type of things. We have to wait. We have to be patient. And while we're waiting, we can be doing something while we're waiting for that main thing that we want in life. Always be patient. Like I'm saying, going to the Bible, Abraham. God told him that he was going to have another son. Abraham believed it. His wife didn't. His wife Sarah was like, I'm too old. Abraham, that's crazy. I can't have no more kids. But Abraham trusted God, trusted himself. And what happened? I think over 70 years later, Sarah had that son, which was Isaac. Patience. Abraham was patient. Now we go to step 3. Sacrificing. In order to get something, you have to give something. And the Bible teaches you it's better to give than receive. It's a reason because of that. Because when you're giving, you will get something in return. But if you're a person that keeps taking, and you're not giving back, what you expect to happen? You'll be useless out here. Because you will always need help for anything you want to do. You'll be a bum. You'll be stagnant. You won't be moving. Because you're always receiving things. And eventually that receiver is going to stop. Because why? Because you're not giving back. It's almost like inhale. Take in. Give in. Exhale. Give out. Sacrifice. Abraham was going to sacrifice his son Isaac to God. Remember that. Noah displayed all 3 Ds. Noah was very disciplined. God gave him instructions on how to build the ark. He gave him measurements. He gave him and he went out there to go find the tools to use it. He was patient. It took time to build that boat. And while he was doing that, what were the people doing? They were laughing at him. Oh, Moses, you're working too hard. You need to stop, rest. You know, it's not going to rain. All these other people, they don't know you know what's going on. Because they're too busy playing all the time. Or they're not seeing what's around the environment. They're not being aware. So Noah was very aware. And when you're disciplined, you be aware. He was patient. He was waiting. He was continuing to build that boat. Because he knew that it was going to happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. Being in healthy relationships doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes sacrifice. Which was number 3. Sacrifice. Moses discovered who he was. Went back to being a slave. He gave up all the royal possessions that he had because of sacrifice. Had to give things up. All these people, all the characters in the Bible who were close to God mastered these concepts. Jesus Christ, he was disciplined. He could control his behavior. When people were throwing rocks at him, saying that he's this, he's that, he was controlling himself. Patient. He told him, we'll build a temple in 3 days. Yeah, it takes time. The people around didn't understand what Jesus was talking about. Why? Because they didn't master all 3 of these things. And we know the ultimate sacrifice. Jesus gave his own life up for everybody else's sin. Even God is doing this, these 3 things. God gave up his only begotten son. Sacrifice. These 3 things must be mastered to get anything that you want in life. You have to be able to control your emotions, control your behavior. And yes, it's very difficult. And no one says it's easy. It's being a physical reality where things are limited. I'm gonna give you a little exercise. Okay. Obviously, this is too small for me to write inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put an arrow. Alright. I want you guys to write a list down, okay? I want you to write a list of things that matter to you in your life. Things that matter. Okay, on this side, we're going to put things you can control. Write a list of things that matters in your life. And after you do that, write the things that you can control. Once you write these two lists down, this right here is going to give you a definite purpose on what you should focus on. So, things that matter, write those down. Things that you can control. You can control your behavior. You can control how you perceive things. You cannot control people. Yes, I use obligation word because that's the truth. You cannot control people. Cannot is not obligated right now. Let me repeat this again. You cannot control people. You can manipulate them. You cannot control them. Okay? This is where your focus is. So with the things that matter to you in your life and things you can control in your life, that's what you should focus on. And with that focus, you need to be disciplined. Control yourself. Control your behavior. We know we have old habits. We have habits that's present to this day. Be able to control yourself. Because if you can't control your behavior and you can't control your emotions, where your energy is going at, you have character flaws. Like every time somebody come around upset you, that's taking your focus off of the things that matter to your life. And it's also taking away the things that you can control. To the point you tend to forget that you can control how you feel. So we'll say, Jim, he made me mad today because he didn't wash those dishes. He didn't sweep that floor. Oh, my mom and stuff, I'm real upset because I asked her for $20 and she didn't want to give it to me. And I'm just so mad right now. So you lose control of these things. Patience. The things that matter to you the most in life and things you can control, you got that focus, you have to be patient. When the pyramid was built, they didn't build that in one day. It took time. The arch in St. Louis, it didn't take one day. It takes time. It takes time to get those things that matter to you in your life. And if you already have those things that matter to your life, then it's going to take time for you to maintain it. Always have the control. Because once you control how you feel, control how you think, control how you perceive things, outside people or anything for that matter cannot tell you anything. I mean, I'm sorry, they can physically tell you things. But you can choose not to listen to it. You can choose to avoid people. When you work on these moral inventories, you'll start to see the negatives in people that you once had through reflection. That's going to help you with your preparation in your mind. And have a strong focus. And I'm getting to this relating to dreams because once I teach you guys how to control your dreams, it takes a real focus. You have to be disciplined. You have to be patient. You have to make sacrifices. It's going to take some time. Because when you're in a dream, especially a lucid dream, and you're controlling things, if you get too excited, the dream will go over with. It'll fade to black. And now you're right back, waking up back again. We had some good dreams and things like that. You might dream like you hit the lottery. Then you got woke up. You was like, man, that felt so good. But the lucid dreams and things like that, like I said before, you can control anything, everything. You're the creator. So you have a strong focus. You have to focus because it's all thought. What you think and manifest quickly. You're going to be the character, the observer, and the viewer. All three in the dreams. So, and it's going to be very challenging and difficult because we're so used to being in the physical, being in limited reality when we're in our lucid dreams. So we feel like, I'm trying to learn how to fly, but you don't feel like you can do that because you still got a mindset, even in the unlimited reality that you're physical. But you're not in the physical in the unlimited reality. So you need to know that. And it's hard to get that focus. Because like I said before, once you master the lucid dreaming, you'll get to the mastering of the law of attraction. Because the things can contract your way in a lucid dream because you're creating it. The same thing will happen when you're in the physical. It just will happen slowly. Once again, patience. You have to wait. But while you're waiting for things, you can be doing something else. Like, prime example, when I started wanting to do comedy, I wait to save up to go get the camera. Now, once I was waiting to save to get that camera, what you think I was doing? I was writing comedy skits. I was writing them out. I was figuring out what location to do it in. I was figuring out what character I was going to play in. So by the time that camera got there, all that work was done. So now I'm ready to shoot. Bam. Comedy skits are coming out now. It's the same thing with your life. When you're focused on things that matters and the things that you can control, you have that strong focus. You have to be patient and wait. And what are you giving up? Because you can't expect to get things back where you're not giving out things. If you want to give up and sacrifice things, do your negatives. I'm sure we have a long list of negatives we can always give up. Because we know there's a lot of times that, we realize that there's some things we give up that, we might not have to give that up. But like I said before, if anything you want to give up, go to your moral inventories. Let go of them negative habits of yours. Let go of these negative vices. Let them go. Just like when Moses told his people, told Pharaoh, let my people go. Moses represents higher self. Pharaoh, lower self. See, you and your lower self, you want to keep the people. I ain't letting them go. And all these catastrophes happen. Again and again, again, and again. And then by the time you get to your higher self, like, okay, I'm going to let the things go, it's all this damage has been caused. Just like when Pharaoh lost his son. All because he was hard-headed. He didn't want to listen. He didn't want to be disciplined. Wasn't patient. Wasn't sacrificing. It's not money that's going to get you anything you want in life. It's not people. It's mastering discipline, patience, and sacrifice. You take those three principles and apply it in your lucid dreams. If you're disciplined, control yourself. Don't get overexcited. Don't be too afraid because you can manifest things that scare the hell out of you. So you have to get rid of your fear. Sacrifice. Get rid of it. And you receive things in return. The universe serves you. It's your genie. It's your magical lamp. Rub it. Ask it. Speak it into existence with your words. Discipline, patience, and sacrifice. It's in every religious text. It's how you're going to get whatever it is you want out of this physical reality. So once again, step 5 of how to master law of attraction through lucid dreaming. One must master discipline, patience, and sacrifice. Just imagine sacrifice is a store clerk. You got everything. You ask sacrifice, hey, can I get these groceries? Well, sacrifice gonna tell you, well, what am I gonna get in return? I want money. They tell you that. You can just go on the Snooks, put all these groceries in the cart and then walk out. I mean, you physically can, but it's consequences. But you can get that without having to suffer consequences if you have that money. So what do you have to do? You have to work. You have to give up something. You have to give up yourself and what skills you can have. That's how we apply for jobs, people. We're giving up ourselves in order to receive that currency. Sacrifice, patient, as it takes time. Who you think is going to be more grateful? That kid who you just give the bike to, like a spoiled brat? Here you go, he's going to bring a bike. Or that kid who wants that $70 bike, and he starts a lemonade stand, sells for 5 cents. You know how long it's going to take him to get that $70 if he's selling lemonade for 5 cents? It's going to be some days he's selling lemonade at all. It's going to be some good days here. He is. But it's hard to add up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. You got the dollar. He has to sell 20 cups of lemonade just to get $1. He has to do that 70 times with the $70. So by the time he bought that bicycle, man, he's going to appreciate that bicycle. He's going to wash it, clean it. He's going to cherish it because he worked for it. He earned it because through discipline, patience, and sacrifice. He wasn't going to sit here and complain about it. I want that bike and nobody can give it to me. He didn't do that. He went out there and got it, made it happen. You got the brain to do that. Stop blocking your left hemisphere, which is your logic of your brain. Use your logic, use your emotions. Balance. Once again, step 5, master discipline, patience, and sacrifice. On how to master law of attraction to lucid dreaming. And I'm out. Peace.
Mastering Law of Attraction through Lucid Dreaming.